So the independent schools are appealing to government to provide them with COVID-19 relief funds. The National Alliance of Independent Schools Association says many parents are unable to pay fees at this time, naturally because of job cuts and losses. The schools are now left with no option but to retrench some staff to stay afloat. We speak now to Mandla Mthembu, chairperson of the association, for more on this. Mandla Mthembu, very good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for joining us. Just how dire is the situation?
Thank you very much for your time and for us to be able to talk about this issue at a public platform like this one. Yes, indeed, we are really suffering as independent schools, such that there are a number of schools which are on the brink of closure, and some have had to retrench teachers, others have had to cut salaries up to 50% to survive because parents have not been able to pay. Many parents have lost their jobs, others have had their salaries cut. As a result, they are unable to meet their payment obligations.
And what does this mean? I mean, especially for students, are we going to see a situation where some of these schools are actually shut down?
Yeah, if government does not assist us, or probably even business that does not come to the table to help us, we may actually see a number of schools, because already there are schools which have closed. I'm sure you're aware of some schools in Joburg which have closed, and there are schools in the Eastern Cape also which have closed. We are very much aware of that. And we're saying that if government can give us a relief fund, more like government has done for the taxi industry, for small, medium, micro enterprises, to say, here is a fund where independent schools that are suffering right now can apply to and get support so they can continue doing the work that they do, which is teaching and learning. That would be very helpful. On the other hand, also, we do acknowledge the fact that we as independent schools, we need to be able to look at how we also manage this situation by also having concessions with parents. Many parents are able to come and talk, and schools are able to make arrangements for payment to say that, can we look at how you are going to pay us? Because if parents don't pay altogether, schools will not be able to run. And as a result, schools will be forced to lock out those lenders who have not paid because they just cannot continue to provide the service without payment. It's a private entity, and therefore it's a contract between the parent and the school. So it's very important that payment happens.
Sure. Perhaps maybe if you can just go a step back and we talk about just the funding model of independent schools. In terms of you staying afloat and being able to operate, where does the money come from?
Well, the large chunk of the money that runs private schools or independent schools comes from parents' school fees. Parents pay school fees and schools are able to run. But also there is money that comes from private business that support our schools. Other monies come from donors. And also there are those schools also which receive a government subsidy, which is not the total amount of monies that government pays for lenders in public schools. So it's a fraction of that. But all of those monies come together. They are able to assist our schools to run and do the work that they do. So that's how we actually run our schools. So when parents cannot pay school fees, that alone hits us in the pocket. And we're able to pay teachers' salaries, we're unable to pay for the overheads and everything else. We just can't continue. Right now, we have so many teachers whose jobs actually have been sort of lost. And just a week ago, I spoke to a teacher who told me that he had even lost a policy he had been paying for 20 years, a life cover policy, because he couldn't pay. He lost his job 3 months ago. So this is how bad the situation is right now. We do need help. We've reached into government, and even today, I communicated with the DG's office to ask for a meeting to further discuss our request of a relief fund. And I want to believe that they will be coming back to us with an answer.
And we will come back to you to see how that development fared. Enkosi Mthembu for speaking to us this afternoon. Mandla Mthembu is the chairperson of the Association of Independent Schools.